Hello, my lovelies, and happy springtime. And I'm doing a short little quick commercial because I want you to buy my brand new album, Around the World, if you haven't bought it already. It's the best thing I've ever done. It's 40 tracks, recorded in 24 cities around the world. Starts in Paris, ends in Jerusalem. It's 3 hours long. You're going to love it. Get it in your shuffle of your music and things you listen to the most. Anyway, you'll improve humanity and yourself by purchasing my new album, Around the World. I'm speaking to you now from my mom's house. On the last episode, I talked about if you send me $30, I will send you scripts from the Mr. Rhodes show. I've had 3 people send me money for scripts, and I'm at my mom's house. I just got back from the post office mailing tons of stuff from my mom's attic back to Los Angeles, and a few of the boxes were full of Mr. Rhodes scripts. So I picked out the best ones. I'm going to mail those. And then one person sent me a really nice email. He sent me $100, and he wants me to send him a box of stuff. So if anybody else is open to that while supplies still last, I just found a few tailored suit jackets with the red lining, and it says Tom Rhodes on the inside. I've got 2 of those, and I've also got 2 cowboy black shirts, Wrangler cowboy shirts, with the Hindu symbol of Om hand-stitched on it. And I'm going to be putting a cowboy shirt and a cool-ass Tom Rhodes red lining jacket into the $100 box. So if anybody else wants to do that, there's one more jacket and there's one more Hindu cowboy shirt. And lots of cool shit that I'll put in a box for $100. So just email me at tomrhodes.net and we'll work out the details. And man, things are looking really good. Today's the first day of spring, 2019. And hooray for humanity. And I can't wait to fill your mailbox full of Tom Rhodes love. Shalom, amigos, amigas. Buy my album already, won't you? You know you're going to love it.
Tom Rhodes, you're a funny man. Tom Rhodes, you're an international comedian. Tom Rhodes, karate kick, baby, oh yeah.
You have a lovely voice.
Well, thank you, Tom.
Lou Angelwolf, ladies and gentlemen. We're sitting on Lou's back porch. And man, there's nothing like a Florida back porch.
This is our spring, first day of spring's coming right up. And
I'm ready.
Yeah, it's always phenomenal except for the pollen. We get a buffet dose of pollen down here.
Well, and we were talking about, telling me about you were like, listen to the osprey out here the other day. You could specify different bird sounds, and there's like so many beautiful trees within our eyesight right now. Yeah. And you and I were out here the other day, and you were telling me how trees communicate with each other.
Yes.
And
yes, I'm very fortunate to live in a neighborhood that was built a few decades ago, and they also had the taste and style to leave the existing growth, the foliage. There's some real maturely grown trees here.
Big ass trees.
50 footers. 60
They didn't
footers.
cut them down.
Right.
Yeah.
And now, as this neighborhood has grown, they just become more and more beautiful. And yes, in fact, the largest living organism on Earth is a stand of aspen trees out in Colorado. It literally spans like 5,000 miles.
Shit, now I have to go to Colorado.
And you got to see them aspen trees.
Yeah.
And that's true, though. But trees are so in tune with the earth, A, because they are a huge component of the earth. But a tree can tell when another tree is ailing or hurt. Like if it's been struck or broken or something, a storm happened to it, busted some limbs down. The trees will actually tunnel their roots under the ground and tap into the roots of the ailing tree sending healing energies to wherever that tree is hurting. And it's amazing. I mean, it's all so exemplary of the oneness of this planet. Here's trees that, they communicate, and here they are helping each other. So if you want to learn from the master, I mean, learn from our mother that we stand on every day, and we breathe her perfectly balanced air, and we absorb the beautiful vitamin D from the sunshine that comes through, and it's all part of this one thing. And I mean, hey, I've had my trip of, I'm a rugged individual, but as I grow older, I am very, very happy to be just one part of this huge, beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and you live in this beautiful ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
Just the geography of the Tampa Bay area is beautiful. And you grew up here. You grew up in Dunedin.
Dunedin, one town away.
Which is such a charming...
Oh.
We drove through there. I never saw that. I guess it's a downtown area, or the area close to the water. You'd only driven me the edges of
okay. Yeah.
Dunedin.
Well, I'm glad you got
we
to
saw
see.
where the stadium where the Blue Jays are playing spring training, and people were walking to the game. It was so like...
Oh, yeah. It was Americana, man.
Charm, yeah, but
it's like
with,
a Norman
with
Rockwell.
Canadians.
Norman Rockwell, eh? And, Dunedin is it's an older town. And the city slogan is, they're the sister city to Stirling, Scotland. And, of course, that's the old one. And now they've actually changed the title to Dunedin as the gay little fishing village by the sea.
Wow.
So, no, they haven't really.
I would move there for that. All the gay outposts have been my favorite places in the world.
Well, and you hit
Sydney,
Dunedin.
Amsterdam, San Francisco,
Dunedin.
Key West.
Dunedin
All of
is
like the gay, outposts or that kind of towns.
Well, it's a creative thing, and but yeah, it's a beautiful place. The crime is real low. It's kind of an expensive for this coast. It's kind of expensive, but it's worth the tariff. It really is. I mean, to live a peaceful. It's like most of the restaurants in town are dog friendly. There's a beautiful nature trail that runs all the way through the length of Dunedin.
No, I love dogs, but I don't want a dog in a restaurant. California lets dogs in restaurants, and I'm always like,
Yeah, I'm not real crazy about it either.
And I love dogs.
I love dogs.
I hope I get enough stability in my life that I could own a dog. I think that might be better than trying to get married again.
Well, the nice thing about the dog love, absolutely unconditional.
Yeah, I like that.
You can come home whatever time you want.
You can neglect them. You can leave for a couple of days. They sit by the door waiting for you.
Yep.
And they're grateful when you feed them, even if you're the one that neglected them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where else can you find them?
How could you ever neglect them?
No.
But that's I know what you mean. But that's the that's the beautiful thing. See, I believe that as far as reincarnation goes, that dogs, if you come back as a dog, you are very highly evolved. Yeah, because dogs, they do make some dogs for war. They do make some dogs to fight. But a dog's natural position is actually, they're survivalists, but they do have a very loving, playful side that they like to exhibit more often than any other side. They'll fight when they gotta, but they don't really wanna.
Right.
So.
But with the domestication of dogs, so in evolution, they were originally wolves, right? And then they hung around the edges, and we threw them scraps, and then that's how we started getting friendly with dogs, and then they got domesticated and
to me that is
learned how to go through a little door on.
That's the largest chasm in the evolutionary theory. Is we got dogs from what? We say they were derived from wolves. Okay. Well, here's the thing: you mixed a wolf and a what to get a Pekingese? You mixed a wolf and a what to get a dachshund? Okay. So I believe that dogs were created individually, breed by breed. Now, you can bend the breed a little bit by crossbreeding, but originally there was a couple of base units that you could modify through breeding. If a wolf breeds with a wolf, it gets another wolf. All you can have is a bunch of wolves. You're not going to have anything, where'd a poodle come from? Where'd that hair pattern come from? I really do, it's a huge, for me, it's a huge, I've never had anybody be able to explain it to me. Anybody. And I've asked people, I thought.
Explain what?
Where dogs came from.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
They don't know.
Yeah.
It's an unknown.
So, I thought maybe that was the theory that I had read, and I thought maybe you could confirm that they we would hunt and kill or war or whatever, and then the wolves would hang out at the edges waiting for us to get done eating to eat our shit. And then we started throwing them scraps. Mm-hmm. Then they started getting friendlier and trusted each other, and then maybe they retrieve a hunted animal or bird.
With plenty of sticks to throw.
And we started to work together.
And that may be true. That may be true. Man and wolf have existed side by side for many, many years. And I don't, and they're both each of their own. And I, in fact, my name, Lou Angelwolf, is derived from a paper that I wrote many, many years ago.
What was it about?
I had to create a story for one of my English classes in junior high. And I wrote the story about this young boy whose rite of passage was to rid his village of a wolf. And he try as he may, he even got a clean shot at it with his bow and arrow, but he just couldn't kill the wolf. He saw its beauty. He saw that it was a father wolf, and he saw it back at home with its, mom and the little pups that were just born. So he really, really had a heavy burden for this wolf, and he couldn't kill it. But it was his rite of passage as a man in his tribe for him to do what the chief told him to do and carry out his duty. Well, what he did is he found an impenetrable passage, and he led the wolf with little pieces of meat up to this edge, and then threw a rock and hit him and knocked him off to the other side where he couldn't climb back over. Okay. And then he went back to the chief and he told him that you don't have to worry. The village doesn't have to worry about the wolf anymore. He's gone. He's in the other mountain range now. But he didn't tell him the truth. All he told him was the wolf is gone. Okay. And the chief listened to his story and he goes, okay. He goes, I hear you. But he knew in his heart that he couldn't kill that wolf. So when it came time for the ceremony, the chief said, he says, your heart is good. He goes, and you are that wolf's angel. So your name is Angelwolf. And I wrote that in 8th grade.
You wrote this story? That sounds phenomenal.
I wrote that in 8th grade.
Where's the book? Where's the movie? Why aren't you the J.K. Rowlings of Dunedin, Palm Harbor, Florida?
I don't know. But anyway, and then when I started doing stand-up, my real name is Lee Carlson Dieter. Okay? And...
not as catchy.
Here's the thing. Lee Dieter sounds like Weed Eater over a PA system. So
I know all the years we've known each other, you've never said that to me. That's hilarious. Please welcome to the stage, Weed Eater.
And about the 3rd time that happened, I went, that's it, I got to do something else. So my dad's name was Lou. I was always Little Lou Jr., and then Angelwolf, and the whole thing came together, and that was 35 years ago.
Wow, man, that story sounds complex and heroic and adventurous.
Sure.
Let's talk. We'll talk more about your writings in a minute. I mean, you should have written 10 books by now.
Tell me about it.
So should I. But back to evolution for one quick hot minute.
Sure.
Because you and I had mentioned this to you yesterday. I'm looking through my old notebooks for any great stories or jokes to go with these cities that I'm writing about. And I'm seeing these great old notes of mine. And I wrote this thing about evolution, like, if we evolved from apes,
Right.
how come and evolution is possible? How come people didn't evolve from other animals? How come there's no like bird people or fish people,
Right.
or like the cat people?
Right.
So, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, the whole Darwinian evolutionary sales job to America and to the educational system. Okay, what it did, it established a format and a mindset for the survival of the fittest mindset. And that's what evolutionary theory teaches, that only the strong survive. And America is a warring sanction. America's been around 239 years, and we've been at war 223 years of those years. So we love to war.
Yeah, I love it. You told me this the other night. So 1975 to 77, those were our peaceful years.
Dude,
we
Kool and the Gang nailed it. Kool and the Gang.
Bell Bottoms, Evil Knievel. That was the golden age
The
of
best. It
peaceful
was the
America.
best 3 years in America right there, baby. No war, and everybody was having fun. Everybody was kung fu fighting.
So continue what you're saying about your thoughts on evolution.
Well, I am much more convinced and much more able to believe of a creation story, us being put here by supernatural forces.
You think we were born?
I believe the human race is about 200,000 years
made
old.
From clay.
And we showed up here as we are. We showed up as full human beings. I don't believe, because the new science will tell you that we don't have enough in common with apes and gorillas and Neanderthal and all that other stuff. In fact, it was a recent thing. They found a Neanderthal infant female child, and they did all of the analysis on it, and it does not have enough DNA relevance to make it for human comparison. So a lot of times, and there's a lot of people pushing this these days, that we're actually living in a abstract dimension. Okay, that this third dimension that we're in here, okay, this 3D, is actually part of another dimension. Now we're all living in a giant simulation, which could very, very well
So this isn't real life? This is some mirrored reflection of real life?
It could be a parallel.
Then why does it hurt so bad sometimes?
Well, because of the intricacy of the matter that you're made of. There are millions of neutrinos passing through your body right now, and mine, and everything else. There's all
neutrons, you mean?
Neutrinos.
What the fuck are neutrinos?
They're the smallest neutron.
They're like Cheerios, but they're,
they're
the SpaghettiOs of electrons and neutrons and protons.
It's the energy force that flows through everything. Okay, and we are not solid. We think we're solid. Okay, but this is all very much still a plasmatic effect.
And why do we have to pay rent and shit?
Because somebody set up some crazy ass rules.
Why is everybody gonna work so hard if this is a reflection of the
It
is. This is a simulated world. Why has it got so many fucking rules?
Well, because the rule makers have a very, very tilted vision on what it's supposed to be like, and they also have an elitist mindset. There's only a group of people that are worthy of all that. The rest of us useless eaters are only good for working and running the machines and pushing the buttons and doing the labor for the people that make the rules. But that's an entirely different conversation. But what I'm saying is, if this is a simulated reality, if you've had those vision goggles on.
The virtual reality I tried once, and it was like very pedestrian level. Like one situation was like you're like in a desert, and then the next one you were in outer space. It was like,
Well, it might have been some of the early ones. I can tell you that the new ones are absolutely astonishing. Okay.
I always get shit 10 years too late.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. And I don't care. I can care.
I gotta pay rent.
I'm taking what they're giving because I'm working for a living. But what you have there, okay, inside, if you have those big goggles on, those, I don't even
VR goggles.
VRs, yeah, virtual reality goggles. Okay, you're inside this thing, and you let your mind wander a little bit and become acclimated to this scene that you're in. Okay, it can seem like reality to you for a short little dash of time. Okay, you can really get involved in it, but the whole time there is an outside force that has control of it. Okay, if the VR gets too intense for you, you can throw up a hand, you can reach out, you can speak.
Time
out. This
out.
is too much for me.
Really?
Same thing with a creator participant relationship, like whoever is our creator. I don't know its name. The awesome power of life, life force, delta. Whatever you like, energy, supreme being, whatever you're comfortable with, because there's no exact right name, and if anybody tells you they hold the exact name of the creator, all they're doing is reciting something out of a book. So nobody knows what the creator is, but it's out there, and that's what we do here through meditation and prayer. Is we're reaching past our virtual reality, trying to find something that's more pure, okay? Trying to find that, because we're a human in this virtual reality, we know that our life force, and we try to gather all the neutrinos back in, the good ones, and let them pass through us and become a refined energy. So as we try to refine our energy, we find that a lot of the things of this world don't make any sense. Why war all the time? Why all this hate? It is our nature to get along. It is our nature to make peace out of chaos. It really is. It is not the constant disruption of chaos that we see every day throughout the world. And if you trace all the chaos back to something, what started the chaos? And it's always money, or control of minerals, or elements, or land grabbing, or whatever it is. There's always some monetary greed attached to it. There's always some elitism attached to it. There's always some huge ego attached to it. Because left in our own devices, it is our nature. It's nature's ability to help each other out. And like we, being the highest functioning mammal, we do that too. Like there's these countries, India, where they have these thousands of cars on the road, but no traffic signs, no traffic signals. And they all just kind of sort it out. They all just kind of go into it. I mean, they're going the wrong way. They're going sideways. They're doing U-turns.
Yeah. But Vietnam can be like that too. Yeah.
Somehow they all get it all sorted out. Yeah, there's horns blowing and things, but
someone gets decapitated once in a while.
Every once in a while.
Who can afford stoplights?
Well, that's what it is, though. See, they let it flow the way, because the understanding of the drivers over there, you need to get through to your destination as well. So if you help the next guy get along, the guy behind you is going to help you. Okay? So we make order out of chaos naturally. But when we have these restrictions set up by a government agency or some sort of reigning entity, that everybody stops right now. Everybody goes right now. Everybody slows down right now. But you can't go right here, and you have to stop back here. And then you have the highwaymen out there on patrol, helping, deserted travelers or broken down travelers or injured travelers. But you also have the highwaymen out there robbing the travelers. Traffic tickets are...
You just can't get a break.
You can't get $180, $350, depends on what you did. Try speeding through a school zone.
Try speeding in California. The fucking tickets are like $400, probably more now.
I'm out.
Yeah.
And
but I like what you said, man. We make order out of chaos naturally.
Yes.
And I read in one of my old notebooks, I wrote, we have two functions in life: healing and teaching peace. Mm-hmm. And that's what that reminds me of. So I think that's really. And then it's weird, like when I'm in a comedy club and things are chaotic, if it's rowdy or heckling or whatever, I always kind of get this centered, calm feeling. There is something about chaos that I find comfort in.
Well, what...
In the comedy world, anyway.
Sure, yeah.
Not in my fucking life.
Well, and I'm not saying
in
my
life, I'm a pussy. Can't handle a hangnail. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, I have to wait 5 minutes for something? I'm out of my mind.
You're hiding behind the bouncer. There they are.
Yeah.
But
like in the little chaoses you create in your life and in your brain and shit.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that the chaos comes easily and that the order out of chaos comes easily. Sometimes there is a conflict to establish parameters. Okay, but once everyone understands, it makes it very easy. Same thing when you go into a comedy club and it's a rowdy room. Okay, you establish the order in that room. I mean, the people are there for comedy, okay, but they don't necessarily know how to act. So you pull the attention away from their disorder into your order. So you create the order in that room. So you're the shepherd of those people for that amount of time.
And the sheriff.
Yeah. And again, you create order out of chaos through human energy. Okay, you're saying, hey, look, what I'm doing up here is far more entertaining than what you're doing down there. And if you don't think so, give me 45 minutes. You can go back to doing what you're doing. Okay? But until then, honor this dog. Honor this sheriff.
Okay. So you don't believe in evolution.
I don't.
You do believe in reincarnation.
Yeah.
And I like that. Dog life is one of the highest levels you can achieve. I think that's beautiful. Do you know in China, reincarnation is illegal?
It is.
And if you want to be reincarnated, you have to submit government forms.
Oh, really?
It's a cute,
I hope it's working out.
Cute little thing I read. A little factoid about China. So
it's really funny.
Okay, so you don't believe in evolution. You believe in reincarnation, and you also are quite the UFO enthusiast.
I over the last several years have been identifying myself with my exo-consciousness. Okay.
Your what?
My exo-consciousness, the consciousness outside of myself. Okay.
You're into a lot of mirrored realities.
Well, because that's what I'm noticing. Okay. And Tom, you've known me 30 some years now.
Yeah, over 30 years, man.
And you've seen me from wild bohemian, sex maniac, party boy to born again Christian who abstained from sex for years. You've seen me, preach in the biker church, and then as the last few years have gone on, I've loosened up my grip on the Christianity and the only way and those kind of things. I found that as I was finding my freedom, I found a lot of freedom in Christ. Don't get me wrong. The wholesale forgiveness of sins is a beautiful thing. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's what a lot of people are looking for. And that's why there are so many
I was telling you about Jerusalem. You went to Israel in 1999, you were telling me. But what I thought in Jerusalem was that Jesus' message of forgiveness is needed now more than ever in fucking Jerusalem. Everybody there needs to let some shit go.
Oh my God. The tensions there are just so high, and it is because of governing sanctions clashing the people together all the time, making them think that they're different. They're both human beings. They even look alike.
Yeah.
Okay? But because the one mindset's been set the other way, and the one mindset's been set this way.
Because Abraham fucked a servant woman.
The oldest story.
Everyone has to fucking be on edge the rest of our existence?
Yes, I know.
Because Abraham fucked a servant woman.
Talk about holding a grudge.
Well, I told you that's what I realized when I went to Israel. It made me realize my favorite thing about Florida and Los Angeles and the United States is our lack of history.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
no one's pissed off about something that happened thousands of years ago.
In Florida, it's like, hey, remember when that was a 7-Eleven?
Yeah.
But now it's a Wawa?
Yeah. Yeah, in
But-
LA, the history of Marilyn Monroe blew a guy there. Biggie Smalls got killed there. So okay, go back to your because you and I have known you for all these different periods, and I loved when you were the outlaw motorcycle gang preacher. That was cool. That
Salvation Saloon.
that's what it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going to see you at the biker church was really cool, man.
It was fun. It was fulfilling. It served my heart. It served my soul. But the thing that I found as I sought truth within that collective mind thought or mindset was it kept getting narrower and narrower and narrower. The things you were allowed to do, the things you weren't allowed to do, the things you were allowed to feel, not feel, who you were supposed to like, who you were supposed to condemn. And finally, at the end, and then I got into the Messianic movement, which was, Jesus was a Jew, and the this and the, and the Hebraic way of life, that you should keep kosher and that you should honor the seventh day Sabbath.
You were following Jewish traditions for a long time.
Yeah. There's a beautiful guy named Lou White in Louisville, Kentucky, that wrote a book called Fossilized Customs, and well worth the look. And I learned a lot from him. And what it was he taught me the Christian conversion of the Hebrew story of Yeshua, Jesus, and the Anglification from the English Church and all the Catholics, the Catholics. Catholic means general, all the general ideas that they absorbed. And it got away from the organic message that Yeshua left. Well, and then as I get further and further into this, I find lovely feelings of reflection. But then I also found so many opinions within the opinions within the opinions. And it was literally like they were leading you down this very, very small avenue of thought. And their favorite reference was, broad is the path to destruction, narrow is the gate, and few shall find it. And hey, I'm still searching, okay, but what I also found was being exclusive of people who are searching for love is not a healthy thing. So if you can't embrace somebody that has differences, then you're not as far along as you thought.
Well, that's what I hate about it, is that especially like in really a lot of Christian people are very judgmental of others and everyone about everything, and even amongst themselves.
Well,
that person's not Christian enough, it's not exclusive to Christianity. All very religious people have like an air of superiority and like a feeling of entitlement that I find disgusting.
Well, yes, it's true. I mean, anybody that is very clerical, the people that have a lot of your Christian preachers, a lot of your Muslim clerics, a lot of your they have an air of knowledge and superiority over you, okay? And hey, it's all based in ego, which is a natural thing for humans to go to, okay? It's part of our survival thing. But no matter what flag what's on top of your building, whatever logo or pagan system symbol is hanging over your place, all of them are based in sun worship, which is a waste of time in itself. We're supposed to appreciate the sun and be thankful for the sun, but you're not supposed to worship the sun. And if you look at the very, very organic beginnings of all world religions, all world religions, they are all based in sun worship. Okay, and then they've been written down, and they've been watered down, they've been amalgamated, they've been adapted, they've been amended, and they come up with their own bouillabaisse of what they think is the truth. And all of them believe they're exactly right. But outside of that, okay, we still have the world that really exists, which is based in love. And the most beautiful part of love is innocence. And that's what people identify with the Christ story. Here's a guy not guilty, okay? But because of the situation that he's in, he loves his relationship, his soul with his Creator more than he loves this life. So as a symbol, he gives himself up as penance for all the wrongdoing around him. Okay, and that's what people are so attracted to that story. And because of the story and the intensity that it has, it gives people a wholesale level of forgiveness about their life. They're forgiven everything they stole, everything they ever lied about, every affair they ever had, every wrong thing they ever did, every disrespect, and you can get rid of it all according to that doctrine all at once. You're forgiven of all your sins immediately. You don't have to keep any of them. Okay, very appealing to a lot of people, and of course very nice. And from that point, you start a new journey. You are born again, you are refreshed, you are whatever phraseology you want to put onto it. And at that point, when you've had this level of forgiveness, what happens is you start slipping back into your old human ways. And what happens after a few years, you realize you're just creating another scenario that you were recently forgiven of. So running through those parameters for, the last 20 some years, my awakening was in 91, so
That was when you had your motorcycle accident.
That was my car crash in 91, and my motorcycle accident was 2001. In 2011, I didn't leave the house. But, and a lot of times, the universe will let you be broken so you can be healed. I was thrown on my back to look to the sky. And
wow.
And whether it's out there, whether it's out in the sky, but it's everywhere. It's everywhere. The love, the life force is everywhere. So now what I'm noticing is, here we are on this earth. Okay, we've been blessed with this beautiful life, with these beautiful bodies, with this highest level of intelligence available to any animal, and finding your most organic path back home. And the religions have diced everything up so everybody gets their little part of the sideshow. But the same reality is that feeling of love, that feeling of innocence, is what we cling to. And and to me, innocence being the highest level of love. I'm hard to get angry. Okay, I'm a hard man to piss off. Okay, and I'm a hard man to hurt because I accept everything as it comes. Okay, but the one thing that hurts me and pisses me off and brings me to anger and makes my ears burn and my fucking guts shake is the destruction of innocence. People that hurt children, people that hurt animals, people that have sex with children, people that sell human beings. I just can't. I mean, it's the one thing I just can't. I mean, I have to accept it because it's part of the world. But man, it really does. When you're trying to live that happy, peaceful life and you hear about that type of evil, it just quakes you. It just distills your own water.
That shit greatly disturbs me. Nothing disturbs me more than like child rape or anything involving kids like that. And we were talking about this the other night.
The destruction of innocence.
I'm completely against the death penalty.
Right.
Across the board. I think it's wrong for governments to kill their citizens. The only exception I would make would be for people who rape and kill kids, because that's the The one thing I think is just the most heinous crime in human existence.
Yeah, that,
And like you said, it steals someone of their innocence.
and that's a scar that is so hard to heal, and so few actually heal from it. They carry that depression and that pain with them their whole life.
Let's turn it back to
Hey, let's lighten things up.
yeah. Well, but back to Jesus now. We were never supposed to build churches in the first place, right? We were just supposed to be helping others.
Well, there was congregations.
Like the trees and fucking that guy's sick.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I'll reach
Sure.
out. We'll help. We'll flourish.
Well, your original meetings were held outdoors, so you could ground with the earth, and so you could sit under the sky, and then of course they started building shelter, and then the ancient Hebrews. I mean, they had their synagogues at the time, and because you do what society does, as Christianity was born, and they started building their own little happy little buildings to meet in.
So are you blaming this on the Jews? I'm kidding.
Well, no, not really. I'm just blaming it on altered states of humanity, the lies that we've all believed.
So, and I'm joking, but so like when we started building structures and
he started, and of course, if you're going to manage a building, now there's going to be some money involved, and now there's money involved, and and it's all supposed to be so much more organic than that,
Yeah, I mean, because I thought like in the Bible it never says like build churches and stuff, right?
Well, there is, yeah, there are some just some verses to Saint Peter about building on this rock. I build this church. Peter, Petra, rock, petrified rock. Peter, okay. Rock, and
then they crucified him upside down.
Well, he had a bad day too, and
talk about having a bad day.
Oh God, yeah, you don't come back from that one, and so with that, and a lot of people, and here's the thing about that whole thing is because Christ consciousness that's what Jesus brought. He brought the Christ consciousness to the earth, okay? And there was a lot of people that did not want the Christ consciousness free on the earth because they already had control of a lot of people. And the reason that you see these wars continuing, okay, the Middle Eastern people, they also live by the rules of the desert, okay, that were established long before any written book, okay? And part of the rules of the desert is revenge, okay? You can seek revenge up to 2 generations away from you, I believe. May even be 3.
Talk about holding on to some shit.
Talk about it. And what it is if your grandfather wronged another family, they can retaliate in your generation without a hassle, because he can name why the retaliation happened. I was wronged back by this guy. He was your grandfather. He killed and he stole from me. And so then they go and they talk to the imams, and they go, yes, that's true. That's revenge. It's paid, whatever. Same thing happens today, is we're holding on to revenge. We're holding on to these abstract ideas in our head, okay, that we think revenge is going to do something for us. An intelligent person lets all of their troubles go to sleep with them at night. Just put it out of your mind. He who seeks revenge should dig 2 graves, because it's going to kill you finding it. You're going to seek that revenge and it's going to kill you, because it wears away at your soul. It robs you of happiness. It robs you of joy. So, all those archaic mindsets are being exposed today by new thought, new science, new spirituality that's based in love and based in innocence, okay? And that is where you're going to find the purest thing. So, in my current excursion into exo-consciousness, I'm seeking the consciousness outside of myself. I know it permeates through me, moment by moment, day by day. But what I'm seeking, and whether it's with our extraterrestrial friends, or whether it's just a united consciousness from us, or we that are like-minded, I'm fine with either thing, okay? But what I'm saying is the purity of it is what I seek. I don't care about what you name it. I don't care about any of that stuff, because I know it's not in any particular place. It's an actual vibration. It's an actual part of peace that you can feel, that a vibration that you can tune into and carry with you all day long. And I do. Yeah, I get frustrated by the day like anybody else, because I'm really not supposed to be playing this game this long. I should be making better use of my time, but I'm caught into the earning paradigm. I got to pay rent.
Yeah,
you know.
That's it. Yeah, so much more of us would have leisure and time for creative activities if we didn't have to pay the.
Oh my God, you know, and that's the thing that America has been lulled into. They've done the powers that be, the controllers, the land robbers, the land barons, the banks, the people who really run the system. They have lulled us into almost a trance, because they've given us human comfort. They've given us climate-controlled environments, food at arm's reach, and cars with shiny wheels. Okay? Those three things.
That's all we want.
That's all we want. And we're happy.
That's the bread and circuses of today.
The bread and circuses, absolutely. It's enough to keep us at bay. And then for, 5 months out of the year, they let us watch gladiators smash each other on multi-million-dollar gladiators, just crushing each other on a gridiron. They let us do that. And they sell us beer and pickup trucks, because that's what we need. If you don't have the new truck, you're certainly not going to be happy. And of course, it's all part of the lulling. It's all part of the hypnosis that's happening day by day. And there's more and more people waking up from it. There's more and more people snapping out of it. There's more and more people that realize that he who dies with the most toys still dies. And did I sound like Christopher Walken when I said that?
You did. That was good. That was good. Good emphasis.
And so that's not what, the pursuit of things is not what your life is about. Now, if you're a very
If you'd have seen what I bought at that vinyl record store today, I think.
Well, Tom, you're allowed to have your seasons. And we all do. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with rewarding yourself with some creature comfort. Because if you're going to run the maze, you might as well, stop at the snack bar every once in a while, and that's
there's a quote.
So, and I got 1 foot in and 1 foot out. It's like I'm still doing it. I'm still earning money, I guess, whatever that is, with the fear that I won't have money in the future.
That's what keeps us all going. Is that fear that we won't have enough in the future.
Yeah. So, when you're old and you can't move around, whatever you can't earn, maybe you can earn from whatever level, but whatever you have now, I mean, I have my full physical capabilities now. I can move around, I can think, I can make decisions, I can make moves, I can create business. But when you get older and stuff starts to hurt and things don't work anymore, and you can't spend 12-hour days working and 4 hours in the car every day. You can't do that stuff anymore. You're physically incapable of it. Well, hopefully your earlier game plan has left you with enough shekels to support yourself in a modified fashion. And that's what we're all afraid of, is that we haven't done that. I got a friend of mine that worked for a really big company for many years. And that company is in dire straits. And they're talking about, they could totally go under. And this guy would have, I don't know how that affects his pension, but I know that, 30 years at a job and then all of a sudden the company's gone. What are you going to left with? You're left with your government sustenance. That whole life was a huge effort, and now you're not getting what you were promised. That can cause a lot of pain in people. But it's all part of the system. The system chews up people left and right. When they were building the railroads across America, they had part of their expense was burying guys that got killed on making the railroad. Your track deaths are way too high this month,
There's
Wilbur.
going to be X amount of lives for so many miles.
Yes.
They probably had it all figured out.
They had it all figured out.
Like six men every 100, 200
Yeah,
miles.
exactly like that. And without a care about the human life itself. The coal mines. The coal mine, they knew that men were getting black lung 50, 60 years ago. But that coal had to get out of the ground somehow. So let them die.
Yeah, I was in Pittsburgh in December, and where the Improv is, it was formerly one of the biggest steel plants. I guess it was U.S. Steel or whoever, and then there was this massive strike of the workers, and then those Carnegie hired the Pinkerton agency. They just came in and gunned them all down.
Yep.
And then the guys only wanted, whatever, fucking, 25 cents more a month or something,
Yeah.
And just machine gunned them all and murdered them down. And then now there's an entertainment complex there where people can go have fun.
Well, and it also restored the faith in the company of the coal company. Well, we better not buck the system too hard.
Yeah.
If you remember Vern, Vern was standing right up front and he took the first shot in the forehead. So, but they still got the coal out of the ground.
Yeah.
Right after the Pinkerton guys.
The steel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, they handed down a lesson, like the mafia says. Dirty, dirty business. Horrible business. Completely controlled by greed and evil. Nothing else. Nothing else makes a man do that.
That sounds the opposite of love and innocence.
It does sound like the opposite, doesn't it, Tom?
Okay, so you're less hopped up on Jesus than you used to be.
Still love him, and he's done so much for me.
Yeah. The ultimate example. I think Jesus was a swell guy.
Wonderful.
How many times do we got to say it?
Yeah, I mean, but what has happened is I've loosened up my the grip on my. I don't believe he's the only way anymore. And I used to believe, and that's a lot of people going right now. I believe if you never heard it, you're not responsible for it. You're not going to hell, and hell is an amalgamation anyway. This world
joke that I used to do, I think hell was a concept created to get dumb people to act right.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what I'm counting on.
Well, yeah, and I'm not saying that I mean, if you're all fire and brimstone, and if you're living the life that'll keep you out of hell, many blessings to you. But if you're keeping the life that'll keep you out of hell, or if you're living the life, you're towing the line, man. You're a straight up person. I mean, you're totally honest. You're good to your family. You're good to everyone around you. You don't lie. You don't cheat. You don't steal. You don't covet. You don't you don't fool around with another man's wife. You do a lot of good stuff, man. You're on the up and up. So that kind of person, regardless of whatever other attitude they may have, that's a respectable person. But there are very few of those. And because even when I thought I was some sort of elevated spirit, and what it eventually reveals itself as is ego. Okay, so I let my ego die a little bit every day, which is hard to be in the entertainment business with a.
I gotta pump mine up with a fucking bicycle pump. Are you kidding?
Well, Tom, and that's what
he goes driving my steamboat.
And you know,
haven't you heard? I'm a self-centered narcissist.
And Tom, I was going to tell you, you've been staying at my house for a week, and having your presence in my home is like saging the place. It's really beautiful. It's been really beautiful having you here. And in my meditations the other morning, it was revealed to me what happened in that situation with that woman. For those of you who don't, we'll bring you up short speed. Tom met a girl, thought he liked her, and then all of a sudden she kind of turned on him, had a change of whatever, and called him a self-centered narcissist, which is redundant. But it was revealed to me that those words were not hers. She was influenced by another. Someone got in her ear, okay? And with the advent of the internet, you know, in her profession, it's very easy to access a lot of information, okay? Somebody else who she respected cast an opinion upon you without ever having met you. But they took an assortment of information, little pieces of information about you, and they formed an opinion, and they filled your friend's ear full of poison about you. It wasn't her. She was coerced.
Wow.
Yep.
That vision gives me relief, and it's too bad she believed the other person.
Yes, exactly. and it's a thing amongst single people. They kind of watch out for each other, and you know, especially the ladies. You know, they, oh, does he do this? Does he do that? Does he do? Oh, he does that. Well, you know what that makes him? He's a blah blah blah. So.
Well, I feel like I'm like a fresh piece of marble right now.
Yes.
I'm coming out of a 10-year relationship. I don't want to be with slutty girls. I don't want to be with young girls. I want to be with an older. I mean, not an old woman, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I want to be with a woman of woman age who doesn't play games,
sure.
And I don't want to fuck other women. I don't want to run around. I'm older and wiser now.
Sure.
And I don't even want to watch porno. I like, you know, to be like thirsty and desirous and in love with just one person is the greatest thing in the world. So like, if I could, you know, somebody who's just like, wow, this woman is everything I'm attracted to.
That's a high.
That's what I felt about this woman, and then she's like a businesswoman. Don't say what she does. I don't want to give away any information about her. But she wasn't from the artsy entertainment world,
right?
And I kind of liked her because I thought like, oh, she could use a little more fun, like I do, and I could use a little more business.
Right.
I thought, oh fuck, that's a good little that's a good little yin and yang.
Well, I see what you saw. And but what I'm saying is, because of that, and I've been victim of similar things, opinions from people that never met me, but that are absolute experts on who I am. Okay, so that's fine. And here's the other thing too. Because that happened the way it did, what you're looking for, Tom, is. The New Agers call it a twin flame. I just call it, you know, harmonious synchronization.
I call it magnetic soul alliance.
Magnetic soul alliance is awesome because you are a magnet, I'm a magnet, and someone else out there is steel. So, if the alignment had been true, the words of another would not have affected.
That's what I feel. Like,
yes,
that's a pity. Because and you know, and I, you know, maybe she just got scared. From this event happening, I realized, wow, oh shit, I need to be very protective and not. I think I need to not be in a relationship for a minute. But I felt like this woman was like, oh fuck yeah.
I couldn't agree more.
So I don't want to get with someone and then they have meltdowns,
Right.
and then
Sure.
frequent meltdowns make for an unhappy life.
Right. But the reality of it is, Tom, even with, you're an optimistic person for the most part. But truly, you are emotionally unavailable right now. Coming out of a 10-year marriage and just having the most beautiful separation I've heard of. That was a blessing for you, and it was a blessing.
No, and then we're still friends, and
Yeah.
and we can talk on a mature level. Like,
Sure.
we never have any anger for each other, or,
Right.
or harsh words.
Well, you love each
beautiful.
other.
And I thought about this. Ashna really did love me because she still does love me.
Yes.
Because she really gave me she's given me so many great gifts in my life, but another great gift that she gave me was the divorce.
Well,
for me to go have a new free life of whatever I want to create it to be.
A new horizon.
And her to do the same.
Well, she gave it to herself first.
Yeah.
Okay. She was protecting herself and her dream. Okay. I'm sure being married to you was not a hard thing to do. Okay. You're a reasonable guy.
Yeah.
And you're certainly not abusive or anything like that. But there was something inside of her that wasn't being fulfilled. Maybe her own dreams, her own visions of what she thought her life was going to be like. So, I know her. I married you two guys.
My sister's hospital bedside.
Oh, my God.
Right before she died.
Tom, just the soul ties that we have are incredible. And then also standing in the water in Key West.
Yeah.
With your family, your beautiful family.
Too.
Yeah. I know she truly loves you. Okay, I felt it all along, and I still feel it today. I don't feel.
I don't doubt it.
I don't feel any separation in spirit between you two.
Yeah.
Okay. But what you've done, and is a smart thing to do, is you have put aside the societal parameters in which you have to run through this maze.
Right.
You've actually broken through a couple walls of the maze. Okay. And she's letting you go too for a reason. She knows that your artistic abilities are somewhat restrained in that relationship.
That actually is another thing she told me. She said, I know you will be a better artist.
Yes. Well, and dude, that's somebody that really loves you. Somebody that's willing to park their own feelings and emotion for your betterment. That's a big person.
That is a big person.
That's a very big person. And
I'm very grateful. It's the rarest of things ever. That the way we've broken up and we're still working together. We still love each other and still friends. It's beautiful.
It is good.
It's a good example for others.
Yep. Yeah. But to get back to the question from 20 minutes ago, there are beings outside of our system. The difference between aliens and extraterrestrials, they're not the same thing. Aliens are not from our life. They're not from our existence. They're from another planet. They're from another system, another galaxy, another star group. They are aliens. They are not from here. Extraterrestrials, on the other hand, are from Earth. They are more terrestrial Earth. They are more from Earth. Okay? And they love us. The extraterrestrials love us. They are the ones that implanted this beautiful life within us. They are the ones that gave us the value of innocence. They are the ones that teach us that
the aliens did. The extraterrestrials.
The extraterrestrials. Okay? And they are communicating with us. And there will be a time soon when they will reveal their presence. You don't have to wait for, the media companies to show it to you. They're going to show themselves. And of course, it's going to create widespread panic.
Like a beam made of light split the sky.
Yep.
Everyone felt the sound of their heartbeats. Every man, every woman, every child. I'm sorry, I just thought of the song "Children of the Sun."
Oh, nice, very nice. I hope it will. Hope Billy Squire's right there. But
Billy Thorpe.
Billy Thorpe. No, yeah, Billy Thorpe.
Billy Thorpe.
Billy Thorpe.
Sorry to derail your thoughts.
That's no problem.
So they will reveal themselves.
They will reveal themselves, and that will undo all world religions. Okay, because you're standing there going, "Well, L. Ron Hubbard, what?" Everything's going to become undone. And
You mean Abraham's servant woman doesn't mean anything now?
I know. Who's Bathsheba on the none of that stuff's going to make any sense or matter anymore. Okay, because everything will be revealed to us, and of course, there's going to be chaos because everybody's going to be afraid. They're not going to know what it is. Okay, but like humans can do, we can create order out of the chaos. Okay, once we realize, oh my God, we're all the same people, just living in different colored meat bags. Come here, you big meat bag. Give me a hug. And we don't have to differentiate on who we are. You don't have to be Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Buddhist, Hindu, Taoist. You don't have to be any of those things. You can just be a human. And that's going to be the most beautiful time ever. When we drop all of these restrictions that we've set up for ourselves, all these parameters, all these mazes that we've set up to run, it's all gone, man. We will learn to feed each other. We will learn to be all one thing, like we've always been meant to be. But we have to go through it to earn it. In fact, the scriptures even say that there'll be 1,000 years of peace because of it. And all the world...
That'd be a relief.
And there's interesting stuff going on right now. Like, they can do... they can project a lot of things in the sky. They can project them. They have the technology. In fact, even when Ronald Reagan was president, he wanted to let Coca-Cola flash a logo in the sky, okay, through, camera work, not attached to a sign or anything, nothing attached to the earth, but an actual Coca-Cola logo floating in the sky. And they went, no, that's a little too much, a little too early for that. So we never got that. But we've had that technology since then. So we can flash a lot of things.
Like the bat signal, just show it up in the sky.
Yep, that's what they wanted.
Okay.
And the companies would have, talk about that kind of influence. You look up in the sky and you see a Coca-Cola logo. Have you ever wanted a Whopper after a Burger King commercial? I have. I see that big splash of meat hitting that thing. I'm going, oh boy, and I'm a little hungry, and there's a Burger King right over there. I have to stop eating that crap, though. I have to stop eating that stuff. It's no good.
Yeah, I stay away from fast food.
I was vegetarian for a couple.
I'd rather go to a grocery store and buy shit in there and make it. Is always nice. Even Publix fried chicken is better than going to get a greasy ass hamburger.
Publix fried chicken is choice.
Yeah,
it's the good stuff.
So, anyone who's ever seen now, I don't want to, the aliens, extraterrestrial, whatever you want to call it. Anybody who's seen an alien or whatever you want to call it, they always describe it the same way, where they got the the little noses and little ears, and then they got these big almond eyeballs. So I've always thought that from us having our faces in computer screens and televisions and mostly computer screens, through the years we're going to evolve or de-evolve. We're going to need our hunting skills less. So our noses will get smaller and our ears will get smaller, and then our eyes will get bigger because they're always in computer screens. And I've always felt that these alien extraterrestrials were just us from the future come back to visit ourselves.
Very easily. That could very easily be true. That's a very, very sound opinion. It could totally be us. Okay, and they're just coming back to take care of us. It's like the glory days, you know. It's like us watching Happy Days now. But
the way they watch us.
Yeah. And but
Sit on it, Potsy.
Yeah, but actually, that's just one style of alien that you're describing. That's a gray, generally a gray.
Right.
But there are actually 57 different types of aliens. There's the reptilians. There's the Nordics, which you would really like, Tom. They are very human in their look. In fact, they look like the Swedish bikini team. They're generally blonde hair, blue eyes, structurally built, and there's several other body styles and types. There's insect ones, which are the spookiest ones. Actually, the reptilians are the spookiest ones, because not only do the reptilians look really scary, they smell bad. They smell real bad, and so those who have seen the reptilians are very, very jilted and tilted. You know, I have talked to and met in person a couple of abductees, and some had a decent experience. Others had a very frightful experience. Kind of depends on who they were and who the abductors were, and how the abductee felt about it prior to the abduction. So, yeah, I mean, you can't write it off that it never happened. There have been hundreds of thousands of reports over the years from people that had no gain whatsoever, wanted no notoriety in their life at all, but they're living in a little village outside of Russia, and it happened. Okay? They're living in a little village outside of Bolivia, and it happened. So time and time again, and there's all these other space oddities that are constantly reported. And part of our thing that we do is it's called a CE5, which is a Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, which is human-initiated extraterrestrial response through prayer and meditation. So what we do is we open up our hearts, and we have a nice peaceful meditation. We do some breathing work, and then we open up our minds, and we shed all of our issues, and we say in a meditative state, our brothers and sisters out there, notice the energy that we're putting out. We're putting out an energy of love and innocence, and we would like to commune with that back to us. And we sit out in a beautiful field, in beautiful reclining chairs, with our feet on the ground, and except when you're reclining. You're grounding, you're digging your toes into the earth, and you're sitting there underneath the sky, and we sit and talk, and sometimes we're very, very silent, and sometimes we pray, and they communicate with us. You'll see streaks across the sky that you know aren't airplanes. You'll see my favorite one was a red bouncing bar. There was a bar that was I couldn't tell how big it was. I didn't know how far away it was, but it was like a bar that was like a seesaw. It was seesawing across the sky. And of course, there's so many incredible pictures these days, and now everybody's carrying around a phone/camera. There have been incredible images. To think we're alone is so egotistical.
We're one planet of millions.
Yeah, and those are our people. The extraterrestrials are our people. They put us here. They put us here 200,000 years ago. But they're in a different time dimension than we are. So this could literally be an afternoon in their life waiting. We don't know. So many mysteries out there. But I can tell everybody that's listening to this podcast, you're not just the meat bag you live in. The spirit that you possess is going to endure forever, because you're part of one wonderful, beautiful thing. Your spirit doesn't perish when you leave this earth, when you leave your body. I don't even know if you leave this earth, because you become part of all this entire energy system.
The spiritual ocean.
The vibration, yes.
The eternal vibration
yes,
of energy
absolutely.
that's within everyone and everything.
Sure. and some are chosen for reincarnation. I believe there's so many profound stories of reincarnation. It's hard to neglect those too. I mean, there are like 7-year-old kids that have complete recollection of a 60-year-old man's life. You know, where are you going to find that? What's that from? You know, that's from, vibrational planes, blending, mixing, breaking, entering each other. So, just know that this is a beautiful world, and you are a beautiful soul, and you can become as beautiful as you want to be. And a lot of that is just letting go of this worldly program, and just know that you're part of the most beautiful thing ever. And it doesn't matter about your money or your status. It matters about, the love you make, the love you share, and the innocence, the preservation of innocence. It's got to be the big thing.
Amen. That's beautiful, man. That, one of the greatest joys of being friends with you for 30 years, you've always, readjusted me and recharged me and, got my catalytic converter running properly.
Clear it out.
That's a beautiful thing to say. Now, you're going to this UFO convention soon in Laughlin, Nevada.
Next week, going to UFO MegaCon.
Okay, and that's in Laughlin, Nevada, you said?
Yes.
And then you were just helping some guy with his speech that he's going to give there?
Michael Merberg, who's my partner on the IMHO.love show, is speaking on the influence of art, literature, and higher consciousness on the UFO agenda.
Cool.
So if you look back all through history, I got a beautiful book in there I'm going to show you when we're done.
Okay.
All these beautiful historic paintings that have extraterrestrials in them, flying saucers in them, spacecraft in the picture from the 1500s, from the 1400s, hieroglyphs from caves from 2,000 years ago with spacemen, and it's all very well documented. And Michael is going to share with that on Sunday, the first day, and I'm going out to be his assistant and help him with as much as I can. He has a well over an hour presentation. I think it's an hour and a half, and he'll just scratch the surface. But this is a very old story, and it's a beautiful story. If you always wondered what it was all about, I can almost tell you that this has a part to play in it, what it's all about. So yeah, and then we're gone for a few days. We'll be back in the middle of the week, and then we'll be back in time to actually do the IMHO.love show. It's on Wednesday nights. IMHO is, in my humble opinion, .love is the suffix, which you can buy now instead of .com or .net or whatever. You can buy .love. You could have Tom Rhodes .love if you want it. You should get it.
Cool. Well, it's been so nice, man, coming back and staying with you this week and just talking and hanging out on your back porch. So I'm glad we got to record this. Now I will drive across the state and go hang out on my mom's back porch. So
well, that's a great back porch too.
Yeah. So it's thanks for being my oldest best friend in life, man.
Same here, Tom. I love you, brother.
You very much, brother.
You're a blessing in my life, and you're my favorite Tigger. I mean, every time I think of you, I smile. So keep on keeping on.
All right, my brother. Long may you run, Lou Angelwolf. I love you, man.
Love you too.
Tom Rhodes, you're a funny man. Tom Rhodes, you're an international comedian. Tom Rhodes, karate kick, baby, oh yeah. Tom Rhodes, you're a groovy dude. You go all around the world, telling jokes to all of the people. You are an international comedian. You're funny to everybody in every single country in the world. Tom Rhodes, I like you very much. I think you're talented and very wonderful. Tom Rhodes, you're the best guy in the world. I wanna be your friend, you should call me sometime. Here is my phone number, 603-644-0048. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tom Rhodes, you're an international comedic sensation. Tom Rhodes, I like to listen to your podcast. Tom Rhodes, you're the best man to ever walk on the earth.